Hey, I'm back. Not the front, but I'm back. What's going on, my subs? How you doing? It's been a while since I've been here talking about anything. But today I feel like making a video to help some guys out. So I'm back with a simple lesson. It shouldn't take more than a few minutes to open you up to a whole new world. Classic chords made new. Something like that, right? A new take on classic chords. How about we call it that? I'm going to show you a new way to play the old tired chords you're tired of. I know what chords you're tired of, the ones you play all the time. But I'm going to show you a new way to play those old tired chords. Things like A minor, G major, F major, B minor, C major, D major, the basics. But a new take that's refreshing. And a lot of bands use them, you just don't know it. So, let's get right to it, because I said this will only take a few minutes. But if you've watched my videos before, you know I have GPS very badly, guitar player syndrome. I rarely get through a sentence without playing something in between. So let's get right to it. The chords I'm going to show you are just some chords I just explained, some basics about the chords used all the time. They're the ones used the most, so we want to learn more takes on ways to use them. Different takes, more ways to play them, things like that. So I'm going to start off with some simple things, explaining a couple basics, and I'm going to get right into it for you. I'm going to be using an A minor chord, so I would go to the A note on the 5th fret. I play the octave of it, A on the 7th, D. I'm going to begin my chord right here. I'm going to use a 2-finger chord. It kind of sounds like a power chord, but it's the root and 3rd of the chord instead of the root and the 5th. So that makes it A minor, not A5. A5 would be this, A and E. On the D string, that would be a nice A power chord, right? Well, I'm going to go with the A and the C to make a nice A minor sound. So if I take this A and slide it back to the G, and I use a B, well, I'm going to revert my fingers to this position. Here's my G, octave. Right, 2 over, 2 down makes the same note, so there's that G. Now I got a B added to it. I got a new take on G major. Sounds a lot better than this G. So, what we have is, I got an A minor here, I got a G major here, slide this over a whole step, I got an F major. They take this F, slide over to E, take this, what is that, guys? Before I even say it, there's the F, right? Slide it to the E. And then I got the open G, so I gave it away already. E, G, there's my E chord. Back to my F. So if I just take a simple thing, A minor, you throw any rhythm you want against the A. That's what your singer starts to sing over. He writes the verse around the chord. And you finish up with this. And you repeat it right back to finish off that verse. Now you can alter that. You throw a little something in there, a little side dance. You go right back to, this was a B I ended on, right back to the A. So if you know the G-B chord that I just showed you, if you notice, oh my gosh. See that? I'm already whacking them out of tune. So what we're basically seeing is, I'm leading from the B back to the A on this string with the chord sequence. Now I go to the E. I can bring it back, E, F, G. F, G, A in this case. But what I did was I went A, I came back, And that little riff you saw when I ended, I did this little thing. Back to the A. So I did a little riff, and the riff can be in any key you want. The only time you really need to stay in one key is when you're cutting a solo, because you got to build over the chords you're playing, so you need to stay to those chords. But when I cut this little lick, I mean, heck, I'm using an F sharp in this lick, and I just played chords from the key of A minor. I just did an A, a G major, an F major, an E minor. So I did 6 5 4 3 in the key of, if you look at it as C, it's a 6 5 4 3. And then I do a little thing here where I go F sharp G A, B C D. Then I go here E F sharp G. Then it's A B C, A B. Because I know I'm going from back to the A, I wanted to lead successively from B back to A. I did a little. That's what I did back in the beginning when I first showed you the riff. So we take these simple chords that they now have a new sound. And then you add in your classics. You add in those power chords for that extra bump. Now, following farther off from the A, if you're in the key of A minor, you're not really going to want to use a B diminished, which is B and D. Well, now it'll be like a B minor, but if you used it as diminished with the F, it would sound pretty ugly. But using just the B and the D, the root and the third, could be a B diminished chord, or could be your B minor chord. Either way, it's B and D, so it could float either way depending on how you want to choose to look at it. But then we go to the C and the E, we get a little C major action. Then you get the D and the F sharp, you get your back to E and G again. Right, so you got that E on the 14. There's your G. Then you got this. Just some old school chords with a new way to play them. Now, one of the things I like to do before I wrap this up is I like to add in the heavier A string power chord for a little dynamic mix. Now you add in even something different than that. Just an old, new way to play the old chords, and if you want to, you could throw in a little bit of side dish in there. New way to play the old chords, guys. I hope that helps you find the new way to play the chords you're tired of playing. Now it gives a little little bit of new life into them, and you got something new you can work on. Thanks a lot for watching. Check my channel, like and subscribe if you want. If you like what you see, you want to learn something easy, follow me because I make everything easy peasy. See you in another video.